This is my Stihl 400C, and I am running it every chance I get because I'm wanting it to break in. So I am on the third tank of gas with it. I've actually been particularly hard on it. Doing a lot of cutting with the grain, you know, ripping type cuts and stuff like that. I want to talk a little bit about this saw because there seems to be a lot of speculation. I mean, it's not a good or bad thing. It's just, yeah, a lot of my subscribers are speculating that I'm trying to like Stihl. If you're new to this channel, I don't particularly like Stihl. It's not because I think that they're low quality. Absolutely not. It's because I'm an enthusiast. I'm not a pro. I'm not out there cutting every day. And so I look at my saws differently. What I mean is I'm looking for something that is excellent quality, right? And I'm looking for something that I enjoy, and I'm looking for something that's affordable, all right? All of those things put together, Stihl loses, right? So while they may be excellent quality, right? Now, I know that there's some people out there that hate them and go, oh, they're junk, but that's just weird to me. They're clearly not. They're among the top brands on the planet. They're a very good saw. It's just a matter of taste and opinion. So, but, you know, the quality is there. I'm not debating that whatsoever. But is it any better than the other top brands? I do not think so. I think they're all good. The top brands, that is, you know. And for their time, Poland was a top brand, and they built good saws back in the day. But even Stihl, you know, I mean, Stihl and Husqvarna, Jonsered, Dolmar, they have risen above the rest. Okay, I know that a lot of Echo guys out there, but like Echo's there with them, and in quality, yes, but in performance, no. Echo, performance-wise, has never been a top-tier saw. They always require a bump with after-stock performance, you know. They require it. It's a necessity, right? Like the Echo 590, I tout that as the best bang for the buck saw, period, and it is. But you must do a muffler mod to that thing. You are leaving an extra 25 to 30% of power on the table. I mean, that's a high number. Maybe it's not quite that much, but it's big. It's big. I've done the test in a 20-second cut of this red oak. You know, we're talking about 20 seconds stock saw, maybe not quite 20 seconds, maybe more like 18 seconds stock saw, all the way down to 13 or 14 seconds for a muffler modded saw. So Echo really, performance-wise, out of the box, I think is lagging. And so it's Husqvarna, Jonsered, in the past 20 years is the same saw, I know that. Stihl, Dolmar, I would say those are your top tier saws. I might be missing one, but my point is that the reason why I've never taken to Stihl is because, number one, first and foremost, I'm used to Husky. So you have little differences that I don't agree with. I don't like these big, 19 millimeter nuts. I don't like them. I like the 13 millimeter ones, right? But that's just a complete, total, simple preference. You have the on-off switch being in the opposite direction. I don't like that. That's a complete and total preference thing. But the big kicker that always kills Stihl in my book is the price. Not only are they ridiculously expensive to buy brand new, right? Case in point, this one with a 25-inch light bar, mind you, a 25-inch light bar, that adds significant value, okay? I paid about $1,100 for this saw, and it's just nowhere near worth that, in my opinion. So, yeah, the value for dollar spent is ridiculously upside down with a Stihl, in my opinion. but also they hold their value like ridiculous crazy because their marketing's so good. They've got everybody fooled and these are the best and there's nothing else that can compete. And so even a used one is still overpriced. So that's why I don't really dig on the Stihl. But this one in particular, I really like it, and I am actually trying to break it in so that I can get to the point and start modifying it. I don't want to modify it and think, and then right at the moment that I modify it, it breaks in, and then the modification seems greater than it was. Get what I'm saying? So maybe I'll put all this ramble, jabble at the end of the video or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I want it to break in before I start modifying this so that I can have clear guidelines of what was out of the box, what was after 8 tanks of fuel break-in, and then what did the muffler mod do? What did the porting and polishing do? Stuff like that. So that's why I'm so particular about this thing. Old Codger, he's a subscriber and he's in the comments and he nailed it with what's going on with this saw. Now, break-in, schmake-in, whatever, okay, that stuff might happen, right? But for right now, here we go. The way this saw runs and what I can tell you about it is it runs like a ported 67cc saw, but a poorly ported one. I don't know, not poorly. It runs like a 67cc saw in which they didn't do any machine work to give it more compression, and they took the exhaust a little bit too high. So it's got great revs. It wants to pull fast, but it gets halted really easily. That's what this thing is running like right now. Now, it might be different whenever it breaks in. I get it, but I cut almost nothing but red oak. If I was cutting pine, poplar, all that jazz, right? If I was cutting that stuff, I might think very differently of this saw. I might be like, no, it is perfect for a 25-inch bar. Perfect. But as it is right now, hasn't broken in yet, all that stuff, this thing doesn't want more than a 20-inch bar. But its characteristics make it want to run that chain like lightning. It is a fast saw, but as soon as you take it out of its element, it doesn't want to be there. You start having real problems with it. It starts bogging easily. The big cut with the 36-inch cut, right? A lot of people said a lot of different things about that, this and that and everything, What about this? What about that? Well, I left the stumble in because if I tried to do a second cut with this saw with that 36-inch bar, it would have stumbled twice. It was not meant to pull that 36-inch bar. It was meant to pull a 20-inch bar, and maybe if you did some modifications bigger than that, but in the condition that it's in, running that 36-inch bar was hard on it, and it clogged itself up with chips. I did not dog it and bog the saw. I couldn't dog it at all with that 36-inch bar. I could not dog it at all because it stumbled and it didn't want to pull. So that's just speaking to that right there, that the stuff that like people are asking me questions about the whenever it was pulling the 36-inch bar and it was barely capable of beating the Echo 590. Well, the Echo 590 was slower, but it was definitely much more steady. It was the turtle. In the long run, it would win, and with a 36-inch bar, this 400 would burn up. So, I think, anyways. It may be different whenever it breaks in, and then, of course, it'll definitely be different whenever I give it more power. But out of the box, it ain't all that. You have to understand what you're working with, and what they're wanting to do with this saw is give you a really ripping 20-inch bar chainsaw. That's what they're wanting to do. You know, it feels to me like an amazing 60cc saw. Like, what? You're getting this from a 60cc saw? That's what it feels like. Yeah, but it's not. It's a 67. Yeah. So, but I mean, to get a 60cc saw to pull like this, you would have to have a really great port job on it. Really excellent port job. That's what I'm talking about. It feels like a ported saw. To me. Disclaimer there. Everybody's got an opinion. You are allowed to have a different opinion than I have. Perfectly fine. So, if you want to run a 48-inch bar on this mother trucker, you get it, you strap it on, and you lay it to it, buddy. You go for it.
I'm going to keep cutting, but I'm sure that's enough raw footage of cutting with this thing, so I'm going to turn the camera off.
One thing about it, the dang thing is fuel efficient.
So I forgot to mark it on camera, but I went back and I marked it. You can see that, you can tell that's my brand new mark. So we are on the 4th tank, and probably used up about 80% of it, something like that. I don't know. But all that big log, the biggest one, I got it cut up and then quartered up even. So this is one of the things that I would like to point out, that to me a long bar does not save my back. Could I buck them? Could I buck them regular style, you know, and save my back? Yes. But then ultimately, whenever you're doing those ripping cuts, and I have learned, like, stuff like this, it's too big. I'm not gonna throw out my back picking up piece after piece of it. I used to, you know, stuff this size, I'd pick it up, throw it right in the back of my pickup truck, and my pickup truck is tall. I mean, it's a great big, tall 4x4 and everything, so I would pick them up, and what are each one of those? 120 pounds? 140 pounds? I don't know, a lot. And I'd be picking them up and throwing them in the back of my truck. Not no more. I quarter them just like that. And whenever you're quartering them, doesn't matter if you've got a 28, 36, 42-inch bar, you're still down there on the ground with it. You know, you're not standing up doing it. That's just not the way it works. At least it ain't for me. I still get down there with it, and so I'm still down on the ground, long bar or short bar, don't matter. And I find that I got to move them around a lot anyways. So the long bar just, it doesn't save my back. It might a little bit, but you know, the short bar, that's what I use. And I prefer it that way. So anyways, some raw footage of the 400. It is running better, but it doesn't feel like it's broken in. I mean, there's been no magical change or anything like that. At least I can't feel it. And but you know, people say it's 8 to 10 tanks, and we're just now filled up with our 4th. So it shouldn't be broken in yet. But anyways, later.